Okay, so Pippi's asleep, so we're just going to go this one alone. Arrived in the mail earlier today. I've had a chance to go through this item so I can talk about it. Is the HELLRAISER Trilogy box set. And Steelbook, no less. I was actually just looking originally when I went online, just looking to buy the first HELLRAISER, because it's the only one I really like enough to own per se. But when I was looking through, I found this box set fairly cheap in Australia. Not too much more than just buying the original on its own locally, and it was a beautiful steelbook. Now, I've always liked HELLRAISER a lot. The first film, I used to have it in a limited edition steel box DVD, and the sequel I just thought didn't have the greatest story structure. Did have some really nasty scenes in it, but on the whole, it's not one I could watch over and over again. And the third one I actually haven't seen since it came out, and I always thought it was a bit goofy and silly at the time, and I'm sure that hasn't changed with age. But it'd be interesting to watch that again in full. I'm actually a bigger fan of the fourth film, which was the last film to be released theatrically. Hellraiser Bloodlines, which I've ordered just because I got these three, so I thought I might as well get the fourth theatrical film, which is actually the only other one I like, other than the first one, enough to have. The first Hellraiser film was basically kind of a slasher film in a way, where a lady has the opportunity to bring back her old lover by supplying blood to him by killing various people. So she lures people in and kills them. But once they open the puzzle box, which is something to do with their lover's death, it unleashes creatures famous as the Cenobites now, led by Pinhead, who's become a kind of an iconic character, who will tear your soul apart. The second one continues on. The story was also written by Clive Barker, who wrote the original, but unfortunately it just doesn't really have the same kind of quality as the first film. They actually go into hell, and so results. The third one I don't think he actually had anything to do with. I think he was just a producer in name only. The creator of the characters. How these ended up looking. First Hellraiser actually looks really nice. I've heard mixed reviews of different prints. There's a few different prints being used for different Blu-ray releases around the world, and they've got some mixed results, but whatever print they used here, I'm more than happy. I think it looks really good. It has a nice even level of grain throughout the proceedings. The day and nighttime scenes both look pretty strong. The print seems to be almost completely damage-free. There might be an odd line here and there. I noticed some during the logo at the beginning, but that doesn't really mean anything. But I didn't. I had a good flick through and watched quite a bit of it, and I didn't really notice no damage sort of jumping out at me. The second film looks somewhat the same, maybe not quite as crisp. I didn't have as detailed a look through, but it didn't seem to have a lot of damage, and it looked fairly strong, but I wouldn't say as strong as the first film. And the third film, Hellraiser 3: Hell on Earth, is only presented in 1080i, which is crap, and compared to the 1080p that the first two releases were in. So 1080i, and some 1080i releases can look fine. I do have one other 1080i release, and it was a Halloween H2O or something like that, and it looked fine. This one does not look good at all. It has some scenes that look strong, and then contrasting to that, it has some other scenes with heavy ghosting, almost looks blurred at times. A lot of print damage on this also. Hasn't been cleaned up at all, but as I say, it's not the best film, so I'm not really too fussed. It's certainly watchable, but some scenes look great, and other scenes don't look so great, and there's speckles throughout. And a box set overseas was also 1080i, so this must be the the same print used, or I'm not sure why they would do it just in 1080i, but obviously didn't care enough. Now this is region free. It's got region A, B, C, ability to play on all those regions. Although some of the extras are 25 frames per second and may not play on all region A players. Let's have a look inside here. So you have HELLRAISER 2 and 3 there, and the original HELLRAISER there. If we just pop that out, I can read you the special features that are on the back there, a little picture. So HELLRAISER has the audio commentary with Clive Barker and Ashley Lawrence that's been released on other releases. It also has a HELLRAISER Resurrection feature, Doug Bradley on HELLRAISER, and an on-set interview with Clive Barker. These are all pretty good features. I watched them all before on my previous DVD release, and all pretty strong. Then Hellbound Hellraiser 2 actually has a plethora of features. It has audio commentary with director Tony Randall and star Ashley Lawrence and writer Peter Atkins. I haven't checked that out at all to see if it's very strong, and I'm sure it's fine. Then it has Under the Skin, Doug Bradley on Hellraiser 2, Lost in the Labyrinth featurette, also on-set interviews with Clive Barker, Tony Randall, Claire Higgins and Ashley Lawrence, and Imogen Borman and Kenneth Cranham, and a behind-the-scenes montage and theatrical trailers and TV spots. HELLRAISER 3 Hell on Earth also has some special features. It got the shaft on the presentation, but has a few special features here. Under the Skin, that's Doug Bradley on HELLRAISER 3. Raising Hell on Earth, interview with director Anthony Hickox, and HELLRAISER 3 Hell on Earth featurette, interviews with Clive Barker and Doug Bradley, and a trailer. I'll just show you what's behind. Photo of the Cenobites there. The sun is bright today. So, you have a good region-free, smart-looking steelbook with good special features, 2 good transfers, 1 very mixed transfer in 1080i, and so if HELLRAISER is your bag, even if you only like the first one, this is a pretty nice way to pick up a couple of extra films for not too much more, and a nice steelbook that won't take up too much room on your shelf. Go get it.